Adil and I have had an interesting journey. As Mahesh mentioned, we both, well, he's from Mumbai, and so am I. Not that we knew each other specifically then, but we actually lived a couple of buildings away on the same street in Mumbai. And then fast forward about 20 years, in 1998, we were working on the same street on Collins in Richardson when he was getting Whirlink started and I was at StarTech. And so that's when we really met and, kind of started talking about where are you from and, all of that. And we got super excited that, I knew the exact building in which he grew up and he knew where I had grown up, and it was pretty fun. And it was really nice. When he was just one person, it was Adil and one more person, I think it was, in the 98, 99 time frame, and he was kind enough to actually offer me a job then, and I respectfully declined, unfortunately, but it's good to see him 15 years later doing exceptionally well. Whirlink, that was that 1 to 2 people company, is now, tell me, I know with Whirlink, and we just talked about it starting in 1998, but do you think entrepreneurship was kind of in your DNA? How early can you go back beyond 98 to figure if that was part of you?
So thank you again. Thank you for all coming here, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I appreciate you all here. And most folks are known, and thanks for coming. But also, as a special guest and a special treat, of course, the star of this particular feature is not us, but it's about life. And wanted to make a very, very quick introduction to my distinguished guest, who has happened to come in from New York. And he's going to talk about 10 minutes about what is the perspective of life. And of course, you all know the shining light that you see is coming from one person who's just walking in, and that's none other than my very dear friend. I can call him as Bharat Bhai, I call him. So he is my dear friend. So these are you should be listening to them more than me. But with Gary in the room, he will give you what has gone through from a transition of being a super successful business person to what his life is now about. Okay, so last night we were in meetings with the who's who in Dallas, but I'll leave that talk to him and let him present. So coming back to our stuff, thank you very much, Doc, for hosting. It's a pleasure. And genetics, there are 2 schools of thought, whether entrepreneurship is in you or you can nurture it, build it up. I feel that it's in you. So at the very early age of 16, when I was in engineering school, I started a company to sell to electrical and mechanical rods to standard batteries. So very early age, I got a lesson of entrepreneurship. It's not the product, it's not the greatest service, but it's about persistence, how much you want it, and whether you can talk to the procurement guy and say, I want to sell this thing. So imagine a little guy just coming out of, just in the school, in engineering school, trying to make an impact on selling with an incumbent who's already been there for the last 10 years. And he says, why do you want this product? He told the competition, told the procurement guy, I'll just give these rods for you, company, free for next 1 year, so take them out. I said, is this how you want to operate? And I tried to tell him that, listen, it's a free trade, let competition thrive. And of course, I had a partner of mine who was the CFO's son. So that helped. and that's one of the early life lessons, that how do you make these inroads happen. So entrepreneurship was born there. So I'd always had that entrepreneurship streak, Sejal.
Now, I know that early on you've also had to, you've had some challenges, I guess, personally in your life. But was it a defining moment that you feel has sort of chalked the way or chalked the path for you as well?
Yeah, it has been, as you know, that I came from Bombay. I landed in a school in Enid, Oklahoma, which friends know here. Oklahoma is not far away. It's a 5-hour drive from here. And landed in Enid, Oklahoma, and went through the regular trials and tribulations. Everyone, folks have immigrated to go through school. Then I had a personal tragedy and a setback. So that was a big adversity moment for me, and that kind of woke me up and got me from a boys to men. That's the time the song was coming out, from boys to men. So was really a defining moment in my life, and I lost both my parents. So.
We'll be talking, I guess, later even with Gary, about how one can change a personal loss into, something very meaningful. And so, I'm glad we're having this conversation as part of it. So what prompted you to start working in 98?
98, I mean, most of us who were here at that time, there was a business, Dayakar was there around, and, there was a business called SAP, which is an ERP program, SAP programmers. Pawan knows about SAP and his journey, that the companies were demanding or were giving $300 an hour for a programmer, for just do some programming and some functional programming, ABAP bases and other functional stuff. So SAP was in very, very hot. I guess the supply and demand, which our hospitality and real estate folks know very well. It's all about supply and demand. So the supply of ERP top engineers was very, very little. Demand was great. All these big companies wanted to see the greatest and the new stuff called Enterprise Resource Planning, ERP. SAP had just come into the market, showed the magic of how you can integrate different divisions and get efficiencies, So a lot of these words I'll use here is, the words are not mine, but of course, being taught to me by my mentors who are in the room. It's called operating efficiency. So that's a big word, So the operating efficiency from an ERP package was how the business was started. And $300 an hour, story short, I make $150 an hour, and still with an employee on the project, I still make $150 an hour, and I still have the time and energy to proceed for more stuff. So that got me the seed capital that formed the company, which was self-funding, and it kept on going.
So now soon after, because that timing of 1998 to start something, because that's around the time I remember, we were getting StarTech started at that time, and you turn around the corner and you had the market crash. So how did that specifically impact you, and was there a time there where you thought, this is kind of a no-go for me?
No, I mean, never back out. So that's the mentality, entrepreneur. So I never had once you are in it, 1998, yes, I was in India, we were recruiting for Cisco, a very large customer, at that time. Pawan was also in that same optical switch game, and they hired 100 people from me for Petaluma, and Cisco call came and said no more hiring. So here I am with 100 offer letters, had to reenact the offer letter, and it's a trial and tribulations, and it's a very hard time when the market happened. But still, I think the hallmark, or more and more I'm trying to tell, is the determination and persistence. Never give up. Be in the game is all it is about. So we burned the game. 2001, the crash happened. Slowly, we are here in 2013.
Any company kind of goes through this natural evolution, right? You started as an SAP play early on. What's your elevator pitch today? How has that evolved over the 50 years?
So, talent was our core of our company. Till today, we have talent and technology. So over the period of years, we have evolved into technology. But still, we have that talent piece. We still place and recruit people, which I'm proudly announce and tell folks. That's our core genetics is talent. But now what we have done is we've evolved into technology, because we've got a switching partner with us. We host switches, manage switching. We do a lot of work which is in network management. So that's where the growth has taken off. When we were in 2000, it was just regular voice phone. It has now emerged to CDMA, 3G and 4G. So it's keep on these revolutions of technology advances, and at every advances we were right there at the tip to make it happen, right there at the tip to make it happen. Today, fast forward 2013, we are on the front lines of 4G technology, LTE, that we provide their managed services. Anything the switch goes wrong, the phone comes to our tax center. And that's how we have over 150 people day and night shift working there. We're going to service Chile from there. We're going to service Europe from there. That's the new one-year plan I'm just sharing with you,
So around the same time you got Whirlwind started, that's also when you were part of the co-founding team that brought TI to Dallas. So as an organization, how has TIE or any other organizations actually contributed to your success, and what's the importance of these networking organizations as well?
Dayaka was there with us as one of the founding charter members of TIE, and all these organizations are great. I mean, TIE, Mahesh was there when our friend Mr. A.K. Mago was also there for the TIE inauguration.
You are being taped right now, so
yeah,
if you do an impression, I can share it with him.
But Mr. Mago was there, and then it's been a great TIE is a great organization. Charter members get together and form companies. They become successful, and they want to seed fund it. So it gives them a inside view of the new companies that are going to be in the valley. So in the valley, the Facebooks and this and Hotmails, at that time Hotmail, Sabir Bhatia's company was getting formed. So a lot of excitement. So TIE is a lot of excitement. TIE was a lot of passion, because that's your arena and you get to play in that arena. Sanjeev Sidhu was one of our Ken Sharma was one of the first presidents of TIE. Then we had Mr. Krish Prabhu was the president. So they showed us the way, and it took off as an organization. It had a little bit lull in 2007-8, and then now again it's on the way to do good stuff.
So before I move on to the next segment of my questions, any questions from the audience for Adil so far?
Adil, I have a question. So when you look at technology in general and how it has changed, particularly in the phone space, which you're very familiar with, how do you see the evolution of cloud apps? Where iPhones really kind of revolutionized that business in terms of making software more democratic, so to speak, that anybody could create an app.
Yeah.
How do you see that evolving in that space?
So as an organization, having that entrepreneur streak, what defines an entrepreneur is taking risk. There's nothing else but taking risk. So from our cash flow, we had a decision to put certain amount of investment into mobile apps. That's when the iOS world, when the Apple started building their apps division. So around 3-4 years ago. So we were in a discussion on a board meeting level, and our leaders came and said, we want to do this app. And I said, let's select what app you want to do. So we started into that area of consumer apps. We had a great success there. We created an app which is a religious app. It's called I Talk to God. Okay, and that's a Bible app. You open up the Bible, it gives you the verse and it gives you the meaning. Very simple solution. So with that concept of apps, we went into a deeper enterprise. So we started talking about enterprise apps, and then now we are talking to major medical players, in the healthcare industry. And we got a Baylor app, we got Tenet as our customers, we got into a different banking sector, which will have a banking app. So now, same thing that you saw during the internet, the website was just a placeholder that, it was there. 1992, when I was in India, I talked to the Godrej's and the Tatas. They didn't have a website in 1992, and they wanted me to host their website from here. It was easy business, Similar to that, you see, this is just the tip of the iceberg you're seeing in the apps now. As the technology users that we are, it'll become more and more into meaningful. That app can do something very meaningful. Like biggest meaningful thing is the Voxer. So some of us here use it very effectively.
So in this fast game, what do you perceive as the biggest threat? I mean, obviously you're thinking M&A or exit or whatever. I mean, obviously there are two paths to it.
Yes.
You can grow infinitely, or, you feel like in this fast world, what, from a business perspective, what do you worry about? What keeps you awake at night?
Yeah, so
in the same
exactly. I mean, as we grow bigger, the competition comes more fierce at you, and that's everybody knows here that there's the bigger target. The target gets bigger, and we internally have to continuously innovate and continuously have some stickiness, so that we have some stickiness. Like, for example, we have the actual switch with us. Nobody can take that switch away from us. So that is our stickiness, and we always think